Always a comforting sound to hear the cheering children here on the Friday edition of the Jerry Doyle Show. JD here, your 6'3" ATM of Informacion. Good to have you on board. We always appreciate when you take some of your time to spend it with us here on the program, where intellectual anarchy is encouraged and nurtured. For now, I could use a little nurturing. Marcella working the dials, Brad producing the program, emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Poll question up there for you today at the website. If federal law trumps all others regarding immigration, should all federal funding, reimbursements, and grants be eliminated for self-proclaimed sanctuary cities like L.A., New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Dallas, Miami, Denver, etc.? Yes or no? It's not etc. yes or no. It's just yes or no. Etc. was just a way of ending the question, because there's about 25 other sanctuary cities in addition to the ones listed in the poll question. Right now, 100% of the people say yes. The law is the law, is it not? If federal law is the law of the land and the big federal power grab is on and the federal government is going to say what can and can't be done, what we can and can't do, then how can cities like L.A., New York, Chicago, and San Francisco decide that they're going to have their own set of laws? But yet the same federal government that says Arizona can't do what they need to do to protect themselves says it's okay for places like L.A., New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Dallas, Miami, Denver to just decide, well, we're just going to make it up as we go along because we just don't like what other people have to say, so we're going to say it for ourselves, but the federal government has the ultimate say, doesn't it? It seems that there seems to be a little bit of a digression into what it is we're told with regard to Arizona or health care or taxes or anything else it is that the federal government wants to mandate in our lives. But yet when people seem to be in some kind of an ideological sync with this administration, well, then they're able to look the other way. Why can't they look the other way in Arizona? Well, you know we're not doing our job here on the federal level. We know we're in Arizona. We see it every day. Well, you know we're not enforcing the laws that are on the books. We know we see it every day. You know we're not securing our borders. Got it. You know we're not checking employers who are knowingly hiring illegals. We know that there are people that are attempting to exploit these people for their own financial... We know, we see it every day. But when they see a sanctuary city like San Francisco or L.A., somehow they don't see it. Or if they do see it, they look the other way. But they don't look the other way in Arizona. Interesting how our government can pick and choose what it is that they think matters and what doesn't. It's amazing. I don't know what happened in the last 24 hours to me, but I think I'm a victim of slamming. Now, slamming is a term where you get forced into another phone company or another carrier without your knowledge or consent. I feel like I have been slammed into the dysfunctional friends and family calling plan. And somehow the government managed to get themselves on my calling plan without any of my knowledge or approval. Dysfunction seems to be running rampant. Everybody out there has a problem. And it's usually problems that are being sold to us and told to us that from people that constantly turn to us and say, you have to solve our problems. Isn't the function of government to be there to make my life easier? Not to demand more and more and more and more from me each and every day. Another nickel here, another dime here, another rule here, another law here, another tax here, another fee here. Because I just need a little bit more from you, Jerry. I just need a little bit more of your hard-earned money. I just need you to do a little bit more. Have you ever had anybody from the government call and say, what can I do for you today? What do you need, Marcelo? How can I help you, Brad? How can I make your life easier, Jerry? You know, we're doing so well, we'd like to send you some money back. Wouldn't that be nice? Kind of like what corporations do in the form of a dividend when you have a well-run corporation with a good board of directors and a chief executive officer and a chief financial officer that says, we've done so well with your money, shareholders' money. We've done so well and been such good stewards of what it is that you trusted us with, which is your money, that we want to give you a little something back in the form of a dividend. Now, I know the dividends come back to us in ways we can't even begin to count because all of the goodness and the riches that flow from government. I look at this whole notion of health care, and we just got to pay a little bit more because it's fair. We just pay a little bit more, and a little bit more. But that's what it's all about, nickel and diming us to death. You can afford just a little bit more, can't you? You can afford to give up a little bit more of the goodnesses and the riches that you have because others don't, and then they try and make you feel bad, try and get that emotional involvement. Logic would say, no, I've given enough already, and what I have given to you, you've squandered. So why would I want to give you any more? Parents do that with children. We don't do that with government. Parents say, here's your allowance, $20 a week, whatever it is. I don't know what allowances are these days. $20 a week. The kid blows the money in the first day, comes back to you and says, sorry, man, I got a little ahead of myself. Can I get another 10 to hold me over to the next allowance? You go, all right, this one time, sure. But you do that enough times, and eventually the parent, if the parent's smart enough and acting like a parent, not a friend, is going to say to the child, no. No, sorry. You get nothing until your next allowance. And I might have to rethink the money I gave you because the way you spent it doesn't seem to indicate to me that you have any appreciation for the money. Eventually, the parent says to the child, you have to stop acting like a child with money. And in the transition to adulthood, there are lessons learned with how you spend and save. The government is the child. We're the parents. The government continues to misspend. The government continues to run deficits on top of deficits. Debt out the wazoo. Hundreds of trillions of dollars of unfunded liabilities and liabilities that we're on the hook for. And they keep coming back to us and hooking us yet one more time. Hey, we're calling you on the dysfunctional friends and family calling plan, Jerry. Yes, what can I do for you today? What more do you need from me? Just a little bit more. Give me just a little bit more. And if we decide that we've had enough, which is where we're at. When you look at the dollar a pack tax, cigarette tax in California that they voted down when only 12% of the people in California smoke. They said, no, we're not giving you the money. But you don't smoke. Why would you care as a state? Because we know that it's a lie. The money's not going to go to cancer research. The money is not going to decrease the number of smokers in the state of California. We know you're going to steal the money and use it for something else. And they go, oh, they're on to us. What do we do now? Well, we figure out a way that we can work with a court system that can just take it from us, regardless of whether we're participating or purchasing a product or not. Healthcare. We just need a little bit more money so that everyone can have healthcare. We just need a little bit more money. But the system has become so bastardized, so compromised, so incentivized, so subsidized, so tax credited in some other way of manipulating it into what it should be, which is fairly simple. Think about this, folks. What was the income tax rate when we won our independence? 0. We as a nation won our independence with no federal income tax. And here we are today, taxed out the wazoo, barely maintaining our independence, developing even more dependence on foreign countries and foreign central banks, and doing crappy trade deals like NAFTA and CAFTA and SHAFTA. And they just say, we just need a little bit more. We just you got a little bit more, don't you? No, I don't. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to give it to them because I'm over it. I'm done with them. I'm done with the dysfunctional friends and family calling plan. I am not going to listen to this crap anymore. This garbage about, oh, we're going to repeal Obamacare. No, you're not. Tip off to Republicans who think the solution to all the problems is Republicans in the House and Senate and Mitt Romney in the White House in November. Now, sure, capitalism beats socialism every time. But listen closely to what Mitt Romney said with regard to the Supreme Court decision to uphold Obamacare. Listen to what Mitt Romney said he was going to do regarding repealing Obamacare.
As you might imagine, I disagree with the Supreme Court's decision, and I agree with the dissent. What the court did not do on its last day in session, I will do on my first day if elected President of the United States. And that is, I will act to repeal Obamacare.
Excuse me? You're going to act to repeal Obamacare. You're not going to repeal Obamacare, which is the promises that you made all throughout the debates, which is the promises that were made by the Republican Party, which is the lies that were repeated by Limbaugh and the focus group phony Hannity. Well, Republicans are going to repeal Obamacare. First day in office, we're going to repeal Obamacare. Then it was, well, we're going to dismantle and replace. And then we're going to dismantle, replace, and upgrade. And then we're going to put it in here, and the way we're going to get it done. Mitt Romney just told you they ain't going to do squat about it the first day Mitt Romney becomes the president, which I hope he does. Like I said, capitalism trumps socialism every time. Mitt Romney's a capitalist. Barack Obama is a socialist. But meet the new boss, same as the old boss. There is no difference in other than the slight economic differences that you would see in the initial recovery of this economy under a guy like Mitt Romney who knows money. But when you look at that statement in print and you listen to that statement and you listen to the BS coming from Michelle Bachmann and Eric Cantor about what they're going to do with regard to reconciliation, to repeal Obamacare, they're already signaling to you it ain't gonna happen because they're actors, folks. They're playing roles. One's playing the role of the savior, the other playing the role of the villain. And then when they switch the hats, it just gets reversed. There's always an antagonist and a protagonist in any good movie. Well, this movie for me is turning into a horror show because Mitt Romney told us exactly what's not going to happen his first day in the White House.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
He's merely going to act like a president who's repealing Obamacare. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
On my first day, if elected President of the United States, I will act to repeal Obamacare. I will act to repeal Obamacare. I will act to repeal. I will act.
This is the Jerry Doyle Show.